Good morning, everyone. It's my pleasure this morning to be with Mr. Napiah, the Director General of the Malaysian Space Agency, MYSA. And we're going to take the opportunity to ask a few questions about the activities of MYSA with a focus on the Earth observation activities. Maybe to start with, if I may, I mean, it's our understanding that Earth observation has for long been at the heart of Malaysian space activity. Could you provide us and share with us a quick refresh on the last 10 years' achievement and lessons learned of your activities in the Earth observation domain?
Well, thank you, Mr. Valignon. A great opportunity to be with all of us in WSBW Summit on Earth Observation 2021. Malaysia involved in the Earth observation technology, I think, later 1988. At that particular time, we are focusing as a user. So mainly the activity is focusing into the downstream activity. So how we can utilize, we can capitalize the satellite images. In principle, the EO technology providing the satellite images become a priority in terms of improving the public services at that particular time. So the focusing of EO imagery is more or less to the Earth surface study and some towards the meteorological aspect. So definitely is building up more interesting features to support the services or even for some monitoring. So at that particular time, we are very much playing around with the optical and radar. So I still can remember that we are collaborating or even assist by a few partners from Canada, US, United Kingdom, and also some France companies, yeah, and the Netherlands to assist us in human capital development. So since then, the development or the demand of the EO imageries, satellite imageries, is tremendously increased year by year, particularly in providing the good info for natural resources. So aspect. So then we move up slowly in terms of dealing with the space technology. Later, 1995, we launched our micro satellite program purposely to fit in the demand from the user in terms of the satellite remote sensing EO and some communication satellite. And I think our first R&D EO satellite is on year 2000. It's just for the R&D. I think the satellite name is Satconsult. It's a collaboration with the Surrey University from UK. And then follow on by 2009, we launched our second satellite remote sensing EO satellite, 2.5 meter resolution. I can share you to date, now is 2021. The demand of EO or even the satellite imagery in various resolution is still continue and increase in various fields. I can share that the demand more towards up to 9 field of application. So within that 9 field of application, we are also establishing a 50 application system based on EO information, satellite images. And at the same time, we work with 70 user agency to capitalize this EO technology in this country. So it's mean we work with our end user, we work with our partners, and a good collaboration to capitalize the advancement of EO technology. So we are also planning by year 2030, we could increase this application system up to 90, which 5 new application system each year. And at the same time, we try to improve the numbers of user agency. From now we have 70. Hopefully we can set into 110 by 2030. So that's the how we move from the user at the beginning level. Now we go into the adoption of the technology, and hopefully by next 5 to 10 years we can play or we can put our effort in terms of creating or even produce some new approach of utilizing this EO satellite. So that's some briefing on how our involvement in EO since I think the last 30 years.
Thank you very much, Ati. That's very helpful and very comprehensive to get the background of your activities. Another part of the background is related to your organization. I mean, the Malaysian landscape in Earth observation in space has gone through a major move in the last 2 years when the Malaysian National Space Agency and the Malaysian Remote Sensing Agency have merged together to create MYSA, and that was in the frame of the 2030 National Space Policy.
Yeah.
Can you maybe comment on the impact of these changes, this merger, on the perspective for EO Earth observation activities? Is there a major impact, or is it just a restructuring that has just simplified the organization, but did not really impact on the perspective?
Well, one of the objectives to establish the National Space Policy 2030 in year 2017 is to ensure that Malaysia can reinforce mastery of the space sector in our country. So how we can coordinate or determine the direction of the space technology development in Malaysia for the next 5 to 10 years. So that's another point that we are critical on. It is how we can capitalize this space technology has become a new source of country economy. So it's mean how we can capitalize not only EO but other branch of space technology activity. So in EO itself, I think this is the room for empowerment, for utilizing or capitalizing the EO advancement in our country. It's not only in terms of downstream activity. We are focusing into the ground segment and also upstream activity for EO in this particular time. So the development of the establishment of MYSA actually is to fulfill the Trust 1 in National Space Policy, which is to strengthen the governance. So previously we have a few government entity in terms of space technology itself. This entity can be, focusing in certain area, but once the government decide to merge, it means the country have a bigger ecosystem of the space technology. So this is quite significant because we want to empower, we want to enlarge, we want to increase the utilization of the space technology itself, particularly the EO. So even though we are not a big country, but the significance of EO information is almost everywhere nowadays. So almost every field of application. So we do agree because we start earlier on 1988, but it rather it should be done earlier. The policy of this space technology, but I think is quite timely. And then the merging between this small entity become a new ecosystem is quite smooth because we are in the government sector, full government department. So one of the impact that we can share is the when we merge and we have a good ecosystem, there is a opportunity to upscale the existing infrastructure related to space, in particular the ground receiving system, assembly, integration, and testing for satellite technology, in particular the EO satellite, which is should be in line with the advancement of the technology in global arena. So I think this is the opportunity that we want to take up through this merging or establishment a new ecosystem of the space administration in Malaysia. And the other one is the opportunity to strengthening the local capability and increase the demand of the usage of EO information. So this is the opportunity that we see that we can increase further when we have that good ecosystem, a good legalization of the management, and also we need to encourage more R&D in this technology, more data utilization, and more expertise, local expertise can be created. Also, we expand into the consultation services in certain domestic area. And the most important thing, how we can encourage the industry establishment, which can be support to ensure the sustainability of the EO and also the space technology in our country.
Okay. Thank you for this answer. And as you mentioned, one of the pillar of the national space policy is the development of infrastructure and application, as you mentioned. And can we focus a bit on what are the target and what are the programs which could be contemplated in the next 10 to 15 years?
Okay.
You mentioned several times the ground segment, so I think it's interesting not only to focus on the space segment, but also the ground segment. Both are very important, especially in Earth observation. So, yeah, if you could share with us some insight on your future plans.
Yeah, on the development of the infrastructure and the application. So we believe that the space technology is evolved. You see, that's the most important thing, that we need to have a good ground infrastructure, either in the EO or other activity of the space technology. So the plan to have a continuous operation of ground infrastructure is a must to us, because we need to serve, we need to solve the problem issue, and also some demand from the end user. So another factor that we are looking into under this development infrastructure and application is how we can consolidate the existing infrastructure in our country to facilitate the growth of the technology development, either in EO and others, and to some extent to facilitate the industry itself. So some the startup industry doesn't have a capacity to have that a huge infrastructure, a huge of a facility, expensive facility. I think this is the thing that we want to open up into the industry to be part and parcel in our operation. So another point is to really prioritize the country's space capability. For instance, the EO itself. So we need to really focus which area we must gear up to some extent, and then which area that we need to develop for certain purposes. So I think the development of infrastructure application is focusing into this 2 and 3 areas that are really significant to us. For instance, the utilization of this application and infrastructure. For instance, I give you some example. So till today, it's benefited more than 37,000 farmer when they are utilizing this paddy management system based on the EO technology, satellite images continuously. And another example is how more than 30,000 fishermen benefited with this fish forecasting system developed by this EO satellite. I think the benefit of the EO in our country is so huge. That's why we will continue to develop and to solve the demand and also some problem that the people on the ground required a solution. So for the next 5 to 10 years, I could say that we are focusing into the whole ecosystem, and one of the major activity is National Remote Sensing Satellite Development Program. So as you can see that the technology is evolved, the resolution is evolved, the application itself, the requirement is evolved. So this is the thing that we need to tackle for the next 5 to 10 years. On top of that, we are also try to empower the existing national space infrastructure, particularly in the EO. You're talking about the antenna, you're talking about the receiving system, which will be a major point in terms of the authorization. And another point that we are just endorsed by our parliament is National Space Act. So we need to have a good ecosystem, we need to have a good regulation to ensure that the activity can be continuously developed and sustainable. So another part that we are planning to have is a continuous application system development. As I mentioned just now, we are focusing is towards 90 system application system by 2030. We will try to fulfill this KPI and target based on the user requirement. Another aspect is the space science knowledge creation. So we need to develop our own local capacity continuously, because the technology is evolved, but the human capital also need to be focused to ensure that the optimization of this technology can be a good impact to the country. The rest, I think, strengthening the international collaboration, but we believe the international collaboration in this arena is crucial. For instance, right now we are focusing into at least three sectors for the next 5 to 10 years. It's more towards the food security, climate change, and also some environmental health. Thank you.
Thank you for this very comprehensive answer. That's a very good overview of your activities and your ambition for the next 5-10 years. We see that you've set up a very comprehensive and ambitious program looking at all the fundamentals that need to be developed to answer the needs of the users on the ground, developing several applications and building up the ground infrastructure that is absolutely required to answer this need, and also the international cooperation. Thank you very much for all your answers. That's very enlightening on your program. So really appreciate that, and thank you so much again.
Thank you.